Welcome back to Investing with Confidence. I am your host, Joshua David, talking about the do's and the don'ts of the great financial markets. If you happen to miss 2 tickets for the investing class right here in Bloomington, call 952-814-4410 or text the word invest to the number 484848. When you do that, you're going to receive 2 tickets for an investing class. You're also going to receive a cryptocurrency foundations course, a couple topics in there, the history of cryptocurrency, 5 steps to using cryptocurrency, but also this rise of the word decentralized finance. So, Al, you wanted to get into another topic about rules and tools and stuff like that, but there's a lot of listeners that are probably starving for income. They want more income potential, and they're getting served, we'll say, certain tools and rules from TV and internet and all that stuff that's out there. But everybody knows that one rule that you're supposed to use, but nobody really uses it properly. What are you talking about, these different rules and tools to make smarter investing decisions?
Well, let's talk about the number one rule that everybody knows. And oftentimes in these classes, I'll start out and ask people, I have them fill in the blank. It's buy blank and then sell blank.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody says, yeah, you're supposed to buy low and sell high. That just makes sense. Everybody agrees with that. But the truth is, most people do exactly the opposite. And they do the opposite because of kind of the way that they have been conditioned to look at the markets and participate in the markets. When you think about it, we talked in that last segment about the demand zones and the supply zones where there are buyers and sellers. They're institutional buyers and sellers, people with hundreds of millions or maybe billions of dollars to impact the market. They never buy high and they never sell low, but they have to have somebody on the opposite side of their trade. Typically, that is a retail trader, the public. So if the big players, the smart money, if they are buying low, somebody has to be selling low to them. If they are selling high, somebody has to be buying high from them. That is the public. And that's one of the reasons that people underperform the institutions. We see a lot of people coming into the classes wondering why they don't do as well as the smart money. And in fact, I had a guy the other day that said, look, I had this great investment that I made. I got in at $3,000 for this full investment. It went up to $11,000, and I ended up selling it at $2,000. What happened? When it got to 11, why didn't he sell? Why didn't he protect himself? Simply because he didn't know how to do that. And one of the things that if you're going to be an investor or trader, there's some rules that you need to be able to follow. That buying low, selling high is one of them. But how do you do that? First of all, you have to identify the right entry to put a position together. That should be a low-risk entry that gives you the highest profit potential. But then you have to identify, how do you identify when to sell something? How do you identify where the profit is, where your target should be? That's where this gentleman missed out when he got his $3,000 investment up to $11,000. There was something that happened at that point that caused the price to turn around and go down. It was sellers that came in, and if he could have identified that, he could have gotten out at $11,000.
Yeah.
He could have also had a protection that he moved up to that range, so if it did continue to go up, he could have continued to participate. But if it went down, he would have been protected.
I'm glad you brought that up, Al, because with so many people improperly positioned in their accounts, whether it's where they get in and where they get out, they have issues. So they're not getting the proper, I guess they're not maximizing their income potential.
That is correct.
So people need more income. People want to spend more time with family. People want to travel more. If they're not getting that, there's a disconnect there. But there's also another thing that they're missing out on is the proper assets, right?
Correct.
They're trading stocks which require, and this is by the broker, it's not us, just saying that. The brokers require the most capital. What are some of those other assets that you can use that have the potential to use lower amounts of capital?
Right. Well, if you're looking for income, if you have short-term needs, to a typical Wall Street portfolio, which is a long-term portfolio, even though you may go in and say, look, I'm looking for short-term income, they're going to put you in something and say, look, you remember, you're in this for the long haul, and don't worry about corrections or crashes because you're in it for the long haul. Well, the problem there is that if you need short-term cash, if you have short-term goals or needs, then you have to have something that you can access on a short-term basis. That's probably the one component that most advisors miss out on and really don't concentrate on. And there are assets you can use for these short-term trades.
What
It's
are
not
those
stock.
assets?
It would be the futures market, the foreign exchange market, the options market. Not only can they be used as short-term vehicles where you get into and out of with a profit or potential profit, especially with the volatility that we're having, it's a perfect environment for people that are looking for short-term income, for short-term needs. And then you want to make sure that you also maximize the value of your investment dollars by using leverage. The three that I mentioned, futures, Forex, and options, have leverage, which means you can have a small account that can still control a much larger investment. That's leverage. That's maximizing the value of your money. And then I know a lot of people are saying, well, if that can be done, that leverage goes in your favor. What happens if I'm wrong? That's where risk management comes in. And the number one thing that we want to make sure all of our students learn, and that we just really kind of pound it into their head, is risk management. That is the most important component of any trade.
It's all about just managing your capital the right way. It's protecting what you have, because if you can't protect it, you can't grow it. And that's why if you want income potential and you want to look at the market, trade the right asset. You know, one of the fallacies Al was talking about the markets is you need a lot of money, and that's just a general term. A lot could be 1,000, a lot could be 10,000, a lot could be 1,000,000. It doesn't matter what it is. It's all just a relative term based on what your expectation is, right? So you have the potential to use smaller amounts of capital, and based off of what you have, and trading the right asset gives you that opportunity to use what you have to have income potential in the markets. If you're looking for more income potential or you're starving for extra cash, Al teaches investing classes to see what those concepts are and see what those techniques might be to have that potential. Come into one of these investing classes. I want to invite you to this class right here in Bloomington. They're 2 hours. Al teaches these, and he talks a lot about different retirement strategies, income potential strategies, but also with a key one is I think that he was talking about at the beginning there was how to time the market by letting price come to you. So call 952-814-4410 for 2 tickets for this investing class, plus a cryptocurrency foundations course. If you want to learn more about cryptocurrency, we're throwing that in there because this is such a big thing that's happening right now. You don't want to miss out. If you missed out on the internet back in 1995, you don't want to miss out again on this cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. So Al, I know in the next segment, we're going to get into retirement and stuff like that, but there are a lot of listeners that might be near retirement, maybe retiring in the next 5 years or so, and they have 401ks and IRAs, but they want to continue or have the potential to continue an income stream during retirement.
Sure.
But they don't want to just use, the capital they have. They want to use what they have in their retirement accounts. Can you use your 401k or better yet, an IRA to have income potential in the markets?
Oh, absolutely. And you should learn how to do that, because when you retire, the income that you've been relying on all your working years is gone. So what do you do? How do you replace that, or how do you make sure that there's enough left in what you have maybe 20 or 30 years to draw from to take care of the lifestyle you want to live? And you can do that. You have the ability to, number one, to control the choices that you make. That's limited in your 401ks, but we do talk about how to get better management out of what you have available in your 401ks, and then also how important it would be to learn how to self-direct the money that you have, because the only thing that you have control over in retirement, you don't have control over Social Security. Most of you don't have pension plans anymore. The only thing you have control over is your retirement accounts, your retirement portfolio. And unfortunately for most people, they just put it on cruise control, and they're not managing it properly, and they're missing out on a lot of the potential that can allow them to use it as an income source and then also grow it. So as you're drawing money out of it for those required minimum distributions, you're also growing the account to kind of counter that, and also growing the account to counter the impact of inflation. But it is possible for you to use those short-term strategies in your retirement accounts. It's also, and this is the most important thing, it's also possible to protect those assets. And then that is the number one thing. You can't work 30 or 40 years to put money aside for retirement and then have that money gone. And that's happened to a lot of the students that we have. They went through periods of time where They retired, and then the next year or two, we went through a major correction, and it really impacted the quality of their lifestyle in
That's why,
retirement.
yeah, that's why it is important to protect what you have, and we're going to talk a lot about that in the next segment coming up here. But if you want income potential during your retirement years, you can trade Forex in a IRA, you can trade futures in an IRA, you can trade options in an IRA. So if you feel like you don't have enough to stay retired, you need to learn the techniques and strategies to have the potential to generate that income during that retirement years, so you hopefully don't have to draw down what you do have. If you want to learn more about those techniques and concepts, we teach these different techniques in investing classes, what these might be, how to utilize the capital that you do have and maximize that potential. So call 952 814 4410 for 2 tickets for an investing class that we do right here in Bloomington. In these classes, we talk about how to time the market by letting price come to you, our step-by-step rules-based strategy for trading any asset in any market, but also how to buy at wholesale and sell at retail just like the financial institutions do. Call 952 814 4410 or text the word invest to the number 484848. I like to make it easy for you. When you do that, you're going to receive a text right back with a link. Click the link in there. Pick a date for this investing class that Al teaches right here in Bloomington. When you do that, you're going to receive a financial quick start kit just by doing that. There's some different topics on how to use the markets for income potential. Al, what do you got coming up next?
Well, you know what? Let's talk about this. A lot of people leave their money in their employer's 401k after they retire. I want to talk about why that's not a good idea.
401k techniques before and during retirement. Once again, for 2 tickets, call 952 814 4410 or text the word invest to the number 484848. This is Josh and Al. We'll be right back.